Welcome to a feminine conversation. This is a space where I speak with women from many diverse backgrounds, learn about their experiences in life and how they have shaped themselves, and the influence of diversity on their lives today. Before I begin, I would like to acknowledge that I am on Dja Dja Wurrung Country and I pay my respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging, and also acknowledge their strong connections to the land and their strong connections to storytelling. Today's guest is the legendary Abby. She's doing so many incredible things and I am so excited to be chatting with her today. I have here with me Abby. You want to introduce yourself, what you're studying, etc., etc.?
Yeah, well, start with I'm 19. I'm currently living in Nelson, studying Adventure Guiding and Tourism in MIT. So basically what that involves is I did first year last year full-time, which basically introduces you to all the disciplines. So you've got rock climbing and canyoning, which is in one paper. Bit of tramping involved, bit of bush nav in there, rafting. You go down to snow in Christchurch for I think 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So you can choose skiing or snowboarding down there. Then you've also got a bit of whitewater kayaking that they introduce you to, and what's the other one? Sea kayaking. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
You've got main like 4 disciplines: so rock and canyon, raft, sea kayak, and snow, basically. And then you can choose in the second year which of those you want to kind of specialize in and to advance. So you can choose like I think it's 3 advanced skill papers and then 2 or 3 guiding papers of each one. So I actually was planning to do all of second year because I loved it. It was really fun. And then after that you get your diploma and you if you pass, obviously you get a guide or instructor qual for each of them. But actually I decided at the end of last year that I just wanted to do part-time. So I'm just going back for rock climbing advanced skills and canyoning, which was one, and rafting skills. So that takes me for the first 2 months.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's so amazing. I know that your family has sailed around to many places in the world. How was that growing up, or how has that kind of influenced your perception of the world? I'd really like to know because that's so cool.
Yeah. So basic backstory for that, Dad bought a boat. We moved on to it for a year in Tauranga, and then we ended up sailing up to Tonga and then straight across basically through the islands. So we went from Tonga, Fiji, Vanuatu and New Caledonia. And we ended up going to Sydney, then went down to Melbourne. So we lived in Melbourne for 3 years. So, I mean, basically, from the obvious one, obviously, we ended up going to school in Melbourne for 3 years. So from having lived on a farm, like in the middle of nowhere for 12, 13 years, going and living in a city was like very different. So that kind of gave us a different experience, and going through the islands, each one kind of taught us something different. I feel like it just opened us up to more. Like we hadn't done much traveling, we hadn't been to many places before that, and it just so for example in Tonga, I think to start with, I was especially kind of seeing this whole sailing idea as quite idealistically. So going to these wonderful islands and have so much fun. I found it differently though, because in Tonga, even the most deserted islands, we'd go and on the high tide line, all you'd see was just plastic, washed up plastic, just littering the whole thing. So it kind of made it all a bit more realistic for us. And I think kind of had some good experiences, and it was beneficial in some ways. Just having to have to live together with your family in close quarters was really interesting. You had to get used to that. It just made me appreciate a lot more of the simple things as well. Like fresh water and just all the basic things in life.
Absolutely. What is your favorite story that you have sailing or growing up, or the adventures that you've been on? If you have just one, you can tell more if you want.
It's hard to pick just one. I mean, personally, I wouldn't pick any of the sailing as my favorite experience, because when you're constantly on your side, going
Yeah.
in all the swell and get seasick. It's not what everyone thinks it is, but
Yeah.
the fact that we did that to get to all the amazing places was, I think worth it,
Yeah.
because and just when we were there, each island I found got better. So in Fiji, for example, I think we were on the island of Rambi, just off the coast of Savu. And I remember we went on shore, in our old little dinghy.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'd have to row because the engine would conk out and
Yeah.
six of us, the big waves. But we get there and we just explored this little village, walked through these palm trees, and I just remember we went up this hill and there was this kind of church structure, and I had my soccer ball with me, and we're just kicking it around, and all these local kids started showing up. They were just hanging around there, and we ended up all playing a game of soccer with them and just having a good laugh. And some of them were quite good, actually.
Yeah.
And then so just really fun interacting with the locals. Some of them spoke a bit of English, but even though we couldn't communicate very well, it was just a good bit of fun, and we all shared that kind of experience.
Yeah. That's so cool.
I think that was the same place where we had heard about all these manta rays who swam there a lot. So we took the on kayaks out, and then we got in, had a stomp around, and then these manta rays came up, and we just kind of swimming with them.
Yeah.
And that was and we just got to experience all this wildlife up close, like you wouldn't otherwise. And it was just it was awesome. We've seen lots of turtles and little reef sharks in New Caledonia. The water was so clear, 8 meters
so
down.
Clear over there. It's insane.
You could snorkel and see the bottom.
Yeah.
There's a lot of coral and all these fish.
Yeah.
But I think getting in the water and seeing all that was really cool.
Yeah, that's so cool. What was it like actually going, because I know you finished year 12 in 2020, and going from living in Melbourne, going back to New Zealand with the whole fiasco that, you guys had to go through. What was that like, going from Melbourne back to New Zealand and then doing the course that you're doing now? Was that easy transition?
I mean, to get back to New Zealand with the whole quarantine and trying to get flights in time for like starting everything, that was obviously quite stressful because we didn't know what we were doing with the boat. And
of course,
a bit hard on my parents because they ended up organising most of it, obviously. But we managed to get back, spend 2 weeks up in Auckland and in the whole quarantine thing. I got back in time to start course because I'd found it about August the year before, and decided, well, that looks really cool, because I hadn't had an idea of what I wanted to do. I didn't really think I wanted to go to university per se, sit in a lecture hall, and didn't know what I wanted to study. So came across that, and it just looked perfect. At the start, I couldn't see myself maybe as a guide, but to start with, I think it's just that 80% of it is outdoors. There's hardly any paperwork. I mean, so I thought, that's perfect, and I get to start with these new things I've never really tried. And I think, Melbourne was nice for a city, I think, but obviously I love the country a bit more, and coming back to New Zealand was awesome. We flew in down from Auckland to Blenheim, and as we flew, I just, saw this green. It's good to be back. And in the South Island now as well, because we grew up in the North Island. But I think South Island is awesome. Just to live in after you reach a certain age, more to explore, more mountains and lots of opportunities.
That's so cool.
I'm enjoying it.
Amazing. What's something that you've done recently that you've always wanted to do?
Recently that I've always wanted to do. Well, the first thing that pops to mind, honestly, is bungee jumping. It's a tourist thing, I know, but recently I was in Queenstown. I was in Queenstown for a week. I went down there because my mum was running the Kepler, so I went and had a bit of a touristy holiday with her and my sisters. That's always been something I've had in the back of my mind that I want to do, just to try. And it was epic, just a little bit of adrenaline, super fun. 134 meters, I reckon.
That's crazy.
I thought if I get to do it again, I'll do it like I think in Switzerland or somewhere. They've got a 300 and something meter one. Really tall one.
Adrenaline junkie.
I could be. I reckon I could turn into one of those. I can't say, I've always thought about wanting to do it, but another thing that I did recently, I went down to Fox for after Christmas, like a couple of weeks after Christmas.
Yeah.
And me and my boyfriend went up on the ice for New Year's because he works down there as a glacier guide.
Yeah.
He took me up there and we walked up to Chancellor Hut.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got to go on a helicopter for the first time. The
Oh,
ride
that's
was really
so
cool.
cool. Yeah.
And then I got to go, on the glacier on the ice for the first time as well. So a lot
Yeah.
of firsts, which was really cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
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 Where's a place that you want to go once the world kind of settles down to explore? What's on the list?
Yeah. Oh, there's
If
a
you
lot.
have one.
There's a lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Well, to put it broadly, I'd love to go to Europe and South Africa, Africa and South America. But if to narrow it down a bit, I started kind of looking at doing a bikepacking trip around Europe. So
Yeah.
there's lots of different routes you can go through, like pre-planned routes to go through some countries, but some of them went through ones I didn't want to go to. I wanted to do more, so I looked at a couple of. Just started looking at where I could go. Start from Spain, go up, and then whatnot. So I think that so my route probably looked at about 10 countries.
Yeah, wow.
There's a big idea. Like I don't know if I'd enjoy bikepacking, but start slowly. When I get to Europe, I can do a few weeks here and there, see if I like it, go bigger.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'd really love to walk the Pyrenees as well.
Yes.
The whole thing from the east to the west coast.
Yeah, I went up there for a little bit. It was incredible. The snow. Yeah, it was so crisp and clean. It was so pretty. Yeah, insane. Yeah, you'd love that. And you speak French too. How's your French?
Yeah, well, oh gosh, don't try to speak to me in French.
No, God, no.
I'd love to get back into it again. Going
same.
to France for the 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And that last year at school was really good. I think it really helped my confidence. Yeah. So I think I have to go back and live there for a bit longer to get back into it. Yeah. It's just hard to kind of try and speak to yourself. And sometimes I do that. If I go for a tramp by myself away for a couple of hours, I'll get a bit bored. So I was starting to try and speak to myself and have this fake conversation.
Yeah. I do the same thing. Try and keep it up.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to maybe getting it back a bit. It's very rusty, of course.
Yeah. Abby saved me when I did year 12 French.
Well, I mean, how did your exam go?
It was good. Yeah. We all did pretty well, actually, our whole class. And I decided to take a bit of a break from it at uni. I'm moving in with my best friend and she's majoring in French. So I figured that she would be speaking to me anyway. So
that's awesome.
I think I needed a break because school is doing it in school is so tiring, a language. You get it. Yeah. It's so much work.
It's really good if you have a good teacher though.
Exactly.
A good teacher in your last year is so worth it. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I think also, how do you plan to pass on your passion and love for the outdoors to other people, whether it's through a course or just generally?
Well, I think just doing it myself is a good example. I think that can encourage people. But obviously, originally I had plans to do second year, so I would have come out with some qualifications and could maybe start guiding or instructing. Yeah. I'd still love to go and work in the snow. Like I can still get my ski instructor certificate outside. Of course, just go and sit it wherever I want. Go to Canada maybe, I don't know. Start lots like ski patrol and that kind of thing. Yeah. But so I figured my kind of plan for this year is after doing a bit of work, go down to Fox for a bit and travel the south a little. I'm going to apply for the Air Force. In New Zealand, and so I figured in the role I was looking at was a PTI, which is a personal training instructor. So obviously that would be a great encouragement. I can help people and make exercise fun and encourage them in doing it. And they have kind of different sections as a PTI. So after you've been a PTI for so many years or whatever, I'm not quite sure the full details yet, but
Yeah.
you can go into like the adventure training side of things.
Okay.
So the Air Force will kind of teach you to teach others
Mhm.
how to do in New Zealand. Anyway, it's a rock climbing, caving, sea kayaking, and
Yeah.
something else. So I know a bit about a couple of them already.
Mm.
And so yeah, you can go into that side of things. So it's more of the outdoor, more of the pursuits, adventure stuff, which would be
Yeah.
ideal. And
Yeah.
yeah.
That's really amazing. So cool.
Yeah.
I think last question. I reckon what is your, like, you know how people have stories that they tell around the campfire to like make them seem kind of cool
Yeah.
and like cultured and
Yeah.
life experience. What would be like your campfire story?
I mean, literally just for the surprise factor. Hey guys,
Yeah.
I lived in a boat for 6 years, and we went sailing through the islands. I know everyone does that, so
Yeah.
that's usually a good one to tell.
Yeah.
But it can get a bit long, so
Yeah.
well, honestly, that's like the most interesting slash uncommon experience I've had.
Yeah. I reckon.
It's like a big one, you know. If you talk about my years before that, 13 years before that, we're just growing up as kids on the farm,
Yeah.
laughing, getting covered in mud, I don't remember learning anything in those 13 years. I just had fun on the farm, had fun at school.
Yeah.
Which is great. It was an awesome childhood growing up,
Yeah.
having that free reign, literally a lot of free reign, run onto the neighbour's farm, get lost, come back.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, campfire stories. If I got asked maybe about certain experiences sailing, just kind of the things we did in each island. There was this really cool group that we got to watch in Vanuatu. So on this little island, and just on like the beachfront, there was a bit of a restaurant there.
Yeah.
A bit of a touristy thing, because opposite was this big resort island, right? But
Yeah.
there was these locals who put on this fire show. It was called Vanu Fire.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it was awesome. So it had fire sticks and
Yeah.
pulling around these hoops, and that was pretty special. That was pretty cool. Yeah, just little things like that. Yeah.
That's so amazing. So cool. So cool. You're doing so many incredible things. It's been so cool to watch from afar, of course. Living back, I feel like a lot of people would be living vicariously through you, doing all these crazy things.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining me. It's been so much fun
No
to catch
problem.
up.
Thanks for having me.